What's up, Sun Rays? Welcome back to the channel. It's Ray. If you're new here, welcome. So today we are going to be talking about silicones. Okay. Now I'm going to preface this to say that this is not going to be a video that's very educational or, you know, getting all into the DNA of what silicones are and being real technical. It's not that. If you want that, you need to go to another video, and there's plenty of them out there. Okay. So, and there's nothing wrong with those. I watch those as well. But the question that was posed to me, and is posed to me a lot, is why I do or don't use silicones. Okay. Or am I, you know, opposed to them and things like that. So basically they're asking my opinion. So this video is going to be on my reasonings as to why I have or have not used silicones, when I do, when I don't use silicones, that type of thing. Okay. I will get into what a silicone is and some of the things that silicones do, but I'm not going to get into, you know, a whole lot of real technical stuff because, hey, we girlfriends, we, you know, some of y'all guys may be watching me too, you know, the Sun Rays, we friends, and we talking in layman's terms over here. Okay. So with that being said, I am going to kind of just start from the beginning of my natural hair journey, because that is what basically sparked me even thinking about silicones and that type of thing. So back in 2013, I went natural. But before I actually did my big chop in 2013, I was doing a whole lot of research on, you know, natural hair. I was on YouTube watching natural hair videos. How am I going to style my hair if I did a big chop? Should I transition? Should I big chop? All those things I was watching. So I wanted to make sure that I was thoroughly prepared, as much as I could be prepared. Okay. Knew, you know, what products that I wanted to use, knew what kind of feedback that I would possibly get. Find out that, you know, if my hair wasn't what I wanted it to be, you know, what do I do? That kind of stuff. I did all the research first. So I decided that I was going to try to transition from a relaxer to natural hair. So I stopped getting relaxers in, I believe it was like July. And I think by October or November, I big chopped. I could only do it like 3 months. And actually, I think I would have been able to do it longer, but what happened was, and I think I told this story in a video that I did a while back. I think it was, I don't know if it was a get to know me video or some type of tag or whatever, but what happened was, when it was time for me to go and get my hair washed, my beautician was out of town. And remember, she's the one who's transitioning me. So she's the one who's having to deal with both textures. She's the one deep conditioning and all that stuff. And even before I started transitioning, I was always going to her every week at one point, and then I finally stretched it to every other week. But she was the one who always did my hair, so I didn't have to really do my hair a lot. So anyway, she was out of town at the time that my hair needed to be washed. And when I called her to make an appointment, she was like, oh no, I'm on vacation. I'm gonna be on vacation this amount of time. Well, my hair was already really dirty. I already had some new growth and everything. And I was like, okay. She said, why don't you just go ahead and shampoo it yourself, comb it out, and just, you know, put it in a bun or something like that until I get back, and I'll do whatever. And something like that happened. So, I mean, it's been so many years. But anyway, so that's what I did. So what I did is I went out and I bought some Carol's Daughter products, because Carol's Daughter was all the rave back then for natural hair and all this. And I just knew it was going to be good for my hair. So I bought the original line of Carol's Daughter. I bought the shampoo and a conditioner. I bought a little, you know, travel pack or whatever that had all the stuff in it that I needed. And so I proceeded to wash my hair And long story short, my hair was so tangled and so dry and everything, to the point where I could barely get it detangled. I could barely comb it out. I mean, I was struggling. It was like matted. I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So at that point, I'm calling her, telling her what happened, and she was like, I'm sorry, Rachel, just see if you can do it. I said, maybe I should call another stylist, whatever. She said, if you feel like you need to do that, fine, you know, whatever. So then I called another stylist to see what I should do. Nobody could get me in or whatever. And then I called my sister, and my sister told me about somebody, and she said, yeah, I can get you in, but it'll be this day. So I still had to wait a few days to even get in. And so I'm trying to comb my hair out. Anyway, I couldn't even hardly comb it out. So I did the best that I could. I pulled that stuff back in a bun, and I kept it like that until I went to her. And when I got to her, I just told her, go ahead and big chop it. Go ahead and big chop it. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I said, you know what? If this ever happened again, no, I don't want to do that. I said, I want to figure out how for me, I decided that I want to go ahead and big chop it and start with the new growth. And that way I can figure out my new growth hair. I don't want to have to figure out how to deal with 2 different textures and, you know, all that stuff. Just give me the big chop and I'll be fine. I had asked my husband, and he was like, do it. You know, he didn't care. So I cut my hair all off. So all that to say, that's why I big chopped, in case you guys wanted to know. So once I big chopped, I said, okay, I need to really figure out what I need to do. So what I started doing was watching more videos of people instead of transitioning, of people who have big chopped and things like that. I started hearing the word cone. You know, don't use cones and this and that. And I was like, cones, what are they saying? Are they saying cones? Are they saying cones or whatever? So, cones. I'm like, what is cones? So finally, somebody actually said cones are silicones. And I was like, oh, okay. So everybody's saying not to use silicones. And then they started talking about the curly girl method, that, you know, and picking up a curly girl, the Curly Girl book by Lorraine Massey. So I picked it up. So that's how I started hearing about cones. Read the book, and the Curly Girl method steers you away from silicones and sulfates, and steers you toward finger detangling and all that, so you don't mess up your curl pattern, and, you know, doing your hair in the shower, and so much stuff. There's a lot in this book, and it's been a long time since I read it. So, you know, I'm probably leaving some stuff out, but I decided to do the Curly Girl method. When it started saying about stay away from silicones, then I wanted to know why, you know. So then it started talking about how silicones, certain silicones, you know, are water soluble, and other silicones are not. Some silicones you need to use surfactants to get out of your hair. Other silicones, you know, you can just do a co-wash or whatever, you know, all these things. So then I started researching that, and then some people are saying, and Google it if you don't believe me. So some people are saying dimethicone is water soluble. Other people are saying it is not. Some sites are saying dimethicone is not water soluble. Other sites are saying, yes, it is, if it has P, E, G, and a number after it. And then there's, you know, the other cones that you don't hear as much about, or people mentioning, that end in, I believe, XANE, if I'm not mistaken. So there's all kind of silicones, and some of them have different names, and not all of them end in CONE. And I was thinking, man, okay. So I made the decision to stay away from all silicones. That's why I did it. Not necessarily because I thought that they were real bad or anything like that. I stayed away from them because I didn't want to figure out which one was water soluble, which one wasn't, and then have to figure out if I used one of a silicone in my hair, now can I still use this co-wash because I'm trying to do the Curly Girl method for the moisture aspect, or do I have to use a shampoo? You see what I'm saying? So depending on what type of silicone was in my product that I used, I'm going to have to figure out how to shampoo my hair that day. I didn't want to do all of that figuring out. So for me, it was easier for me to remove all silicones, and then go ahead and do the Curly Girl method, so I wouldn't have to worry about the buildup that you get from silicones, and, you know, it putting a barrier around your hair so you couldn't get the moisture in and all those things. So that's why I decided to stay away from silicones, because for me, as a newly natural who is trying to get moisture in my dry hair that I'm trying to get used to, I wanted to co-wash, because when I used the co-wash, my hair did feel a lot more moisturized. It felt softer. It didn't feel as dry. So I wanted to co-wash over shampoo, and I wanted to make sure when I co-washed my hair was clean and that I was not using silicones on there and not getting them off with a co-wash if they were some that were not water soluble. Okay, so that was my reasoning behind it, and that worked for me. So some people will say, you know, it's getting to the point now where people are like, co-washing don't clean your hair, is like putting lotion on your body and all those things. That may be true. That is their opinion. I don't feel that that is true. I feel like co-washing really did help me in my natural hair journey in the very beginning with a dry TWA. I co-washed. I did my hair on a daily basis because my hair was this short. So I could wash my hair or co-wash my hair every day, get it wet every day, and go out and let my hair air dry like this. It was no problem. And as I kept doing that, I saw the curls coming. I saw the moisture coming and so forth. And that is what worked for me and my hair in my climate at the time that I went natural. I believe it was November, so it was a colder month. And so yes, I was doing wash and goes every day in the dead of winter. I was going to work or whatever. I'd blast the heat in my car, let that heat start drying my hair. I'd run into my work building, and my hair, by the time I got off work, my hair was dry. So it wasn't a real big deal to me to do that. So that was my reasoning for not using silicones. Okay, I didn't want to read all the back of the bottles. Okay, there's a cone. And so it was just easier for me to read a bottle that said no silicones on the front, or if it didn't say that, I would look, and if I didn't see CONE on the back or whatever, I would pick it up. And I believe that I pretty much stayed away from silicones in that way. So moving forward, I didn't use silicones for a long time, but what started happening is as I started my channel in 2019, so I went from 2013 to 2019 just doing my hair on my own, letting it grow. So that's why you guys do not see on my channel me with a TWA. You see me with my hair a little bit shorter than this. You see it grow out. You see me get it cut back to like this. You see it grow out. You see it back like this. And that's why a lot of people say, do your hair ever grow? Yes, my hair grows, but I tend to cut it and trim the ends, and then I end up going hog wild and getting it back into the shape that it is. I feel like this shape matches my body and my face well, so I kind of keep it like this. So that's why you don't see me with a TWA. So by the time 2019 comes and I start my channel, which my husband and my son, you know, said, hey, you've been doing this, so you always watching these videos, and you might as well do it. Because from 2013 to 2019, I was still watching YouTube videos. I was still learning my hair. I was still trying new things. I was still trying to figure out, you know, am I low porosity? Am I high porosity? Am I this? Am I that? Because things kept coming, you know. People were talking about porosity. First they were talking about curl type, and then they were talking about porosity, and then they were talking about this, and you know, stuff comes and goes. So I was still trying to learn. So then in 2019, I went on and started my channel. And at that time, that's when people started wanting me or asking me questions. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And I would say no, because there's silicones in it. I don't use silicones. Why don't you use silicones? Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, got to the point where people were sending me products, and some of the products they sent me had silicones in it. They wanted me to try it. So then I would go ahead and try it. I say, okay, I'm trying this product. I want to let you know it does have a silicone. Somebody sent it to me. That's why I'm using it. But I prefer not to use silicones. And most of my products are silicone free, right? So I would try those. And some of them would work. Some of them wouldn't work. But even before then, I was kind of dabbling trying to see if I could really see a difference with silicones or not, because some people love silicones. Silicones are, so let's get into silicones. So silicones are used in hair products to, one, give you some slip, okay? Two, give you some shine. Three, coat the hair. It's supposed to lock in the moisture, and that's why they say when it locks in the moisture, it coats your strand, it's hard for other moisture to get in, especially if you're wanting to refresh your hair and things of that sort. It's also supposed to protect your hair from environmental damages and heat damage and things like that. So it has its place. It has some really good reasons as to why people use silicones and want to use silicones in their products, and why manufacturers want to put silicones in products, right? So those are good things. Those are all good things, giving you some shine, giving you some moisture and all that, right? So when I started dabbling in it just to see if I could see a difference, for me, my hair didn't like silicones as much. And I noticed that because when I would use silicones, the very first day it would look good. The next day it would start to look a little dry and look a little dull to me, in my opinion. I felt like when I would kind of scrunch in or spritz my hair, because I had a TWA, when I would spritz my hair to kind of try to re-moisturize it, it didn't seem like it soaked in as well and things like that. So for me, when I went back to not using a silicone, but used pretty much the same weather, you know what I'm saying? The same wash day products outside of the product that I use with the silicone in it and things like that, my hair did better when I did not use the product with the silicone. My hair looked, it felt more hydrated, it felt healthier, it looked healthier, and so forth. So for me, I did the research. I kept trying. I would try silicone and try it, the next day without, and see if I see the difference, or the next week without, to see if I see a difference. And I did that enough to know that my hair thrived without the silicones. So not to say the silicones are bad, I'm just saying that I feel like I don't need silicones. I don't need silicones to give me the shine. I don't need silicones to give me the slip, because I have other products that have other slippery elements in them that give me the slip that I need. I don't need silicones to lock in my moisture, because my hair now retains its own moisture anyway. I'm low porosity. Once that moisture gets in there, it pretty much can stay in there. Every blue moon, I'll get some where my hair feels dry and I'll scrunch it in. But because I don't have anything blocking my hair, I can usually scrunch it in and get the moisture that I want. So for me, I feel like I didn't need the silicones for the things that silicones are used for, as far as heat damage and stuff like that. I wasn't straightening my hair. I just recently started, even blowing out my hair or using any type of straightening type utensil. Just start. When you see my videos within the past couple years, this year, and I think I did it last year as well, that's the first time I've straightened my hair in years. So I wasn't using heat products. I don't color my hair or anything like that. So I didn't feel like I needed it for that type of protection. There you go. Don't want this video to be too long, but those are my reasonings for not using silicone. So when I get on and I say silicones are not bad, I just prefer not to use them. That is why, because I don't feel like my hair needs them. My hair does what I needed to do without silicones. If I felt like my hair worked better with silicones, if it felt smoother, if it looked shinier, if it locked in the moisture, if I was heat styling my hair a lot and I needed a lot of silicone in my products to protect my hair and things like that, then I would use them, no problem. And I would just make sure that I had products that would make sure that the silicone got off, so I didn't get that buildup. So that's it. That's it for me. That's my reasoning behind it. Not that I think, oh, they're so bad, oh my gosh, don't put silicones in your hair. Now, will I recommend people use silicones if they're starting their hair journey? No. And like I said, I would say try to start out so you don't have to figure out what silicones are water soluble, when you should co-wash, when you should not, when you should clarify your hair, when you should not, if you got buildup. If you don't want to worry about that as much, I mean, some people will still get buildup whether they use silicones or not. I know that, so don't get in my comments talking about all that. I do understand that. But to alleviate trying to figure out what silicones are in your hair, trying to figure out what shampoo to use to cleanse your hair, whether you need to cleanse because it's a non-water soluble one versus a water soluble one. I would just say stay away from them. That's what I did, and that worked for me. I stayed away from them. I used moisturizing shampoo when I needed to shampoo. And remember, I'm doing the curly girl method, so I was co-washing versus shampooing. I would shampoo probably once a month, and I would co-wash the rest of the time. And that helped me to start to retain the moisture in my hair. My hair didn't feel as dry. My hair started to flourish. The curls started to shape because the moisture was there. But I was doing my hair every day when I had this TWA. Then I started doing my hair like every 3 days. And I did my hair every 3 days up until probably a few years ago, okay? Then I stretched it out as my hair got longer. I stretch it out to 5 days. Now I do my hair probably between the 4th and 5th day. Can I go 7 days with a wash and go and with the twist out? Yes. Do I? Most of the times I do not, unless something has come up and I cannot do my hair on that 4th or 5th day. I will stretch it for a week. I myself decided that I don't want to go past 5 days. 5 days is usually my max, because the longer you go, the more tangles you get, the more split ends you get, the more breakage you get trying to detangle, all those things. So for me, the more often I do my hair, the less tangles I have, the quicker my wash day goes, the more moisture I have in my hair continually, and that's what worked for me, okay? So I'm not knocking people going 7 days. If you want to go 7 days and that works for you, you do that. I opted not to do that, and I think my hair has benefited from it. So you guys have got to learn your own hair and not expect your hair to do what someone else's hair does. You need to go ahead and do your research on silicones and whether you think they're worth using or not using. Don't do it based on what a YouTuber says works best for them. You do your research. You know, if you like shampoos over cold washes, if you like shampoos, then you do the research as to which shampoos to use and when, and there you go. If you feel like using a lot of shampoos and you feel like your hair is dry all the time, then hey, it may be worth a co-wash. And for me, co-washes are cleansing conditioners, or get something that says cleansing conditioner on it. Co-washes do have some surfactants in it that can cleanse your hair. Some co-washes are a lot less harsh than others. Some are more moisturizing. You use the one that you need at the time. I have some that are more cleansing, like the As I Am co-wash cleanses my hair pretty good. Some other ones that I've used cleanse your hair a little bit better. Other co-washes are very gentle. They're meant to be an in-between wash when you don't have a lot of product on your hair. And for me, when I first started, I was using more product. Actually, I was trying to do the LCO method, so I was using a lot of product, and then I was co-washing, and I was using the As I Am, and it seemed to have cleansed my hair pretty good. I do know that I did suffer from buildup at times. I can look back and see it. At the time, I didn't know that I did, but now looking back, I know that I did, because some things would flake and it's like, ooh, this flakes. And then as I learned my hair and started cleansing my hair a little bit better and knowing when to use a not harsher, but you know what I'm saying, a stronger co-wash or a shampoo that's moisturizing over a co-wash and getting my hair a little bit cleaner, I got a lot less flaking with products and stuff like that. So all of it is trial and error. You're not going to learn it over time. Like I said, I went natural in 2013. It is now 2023. I am still learning my hair. Things I used to be able to do, I can't do. Products I used to like, I don't like anymore. Your hair, it changes. It changes as it gets longer and everything, because when I was a TWA and a little bit, my curls to me were real plump. And now my curls, since my hair is a little longer, are more, or are not as plump. They're not curls. They're more spirals like, or coils. So your hair changes as it gets longer. Your curls may start to loosen out because of the weight of the hair and stuff like that. All of this stuff matters. So guys, that's it. I know this kind of went off of silicones, but the question is, why am I not averse to silicones? And this is why I am not. So that's why I'm telling you the reasons. And but for me, I still prefer not to use silicones. I just don't think they're necessary for me. Now, I did use them recently when I straightened my hair. Of course, I used products that had silicones in it because I was using heat on my hair, and I did want it to protect my hair and keep me from heat damage, and it did, or it helped to keep me from heat damage. The other thing is I just didn't use it real hot either. And then I also used, products with protein to give me some strength, because I knew I was going to be heat styling my hair, or I'll use protein after I had heat styled my hair to rebuild it up or whatever. So all those things matter as well. So all those things you have to kind of learn. But on a daily basis, I'm still going to try to find products that are silicone free, and that way I still don't have to think about especially if I go a week, what did I style my hair with? When I washed it, did it have silicones in it? Did it not? Do I need to use a shampoo? No, if I'm in a hurry and I just need to use a co-wash, I want to be able to use a co-wash and not worry about that I had used something that had a silicone in it. If you hear what I'm saying. So for me, yeah, I just try to stay away from them. If you guys send me products with silicone in them, I possibly will try them out. But if you let me know they're coming, like I have done with some other Sun Raes, thank you guys who have sent me product, I will say, these got silicones in them. I don't think they're going to work for me. And like I said, silicones tend to make my hair look a little bit duller. Some of them, depending on how many is in a product and which ones they are and things like that. So I usually will tell you, I probably won't, because it has the silicones in it. Or if it's something that I kind of am intrigued about and just want to see, then I may say, okay, go ahead and send it to me. We'll see, and I'll tell you guys, because some of you guys don't mind using silicones, and that's why I want to try some products with silicones to let you know, okay, this is how it worked for me on my hair, and you guys may like it. So hopefully that answers your questions. And like I said, it can get confusing when you're on Google and you're trying to figure out if something is water soluble or if it's not, because depending on what site you go to, you may get a different answer. Because I have been to sites that said amodimethicone is not water soluble, but then I've been on other ones that said, oh, that is the water soluble silicone. Okay. Then I've been on some that says dimethicone is not water soluble, but if you look at it, dimethicone, and then it has PEG with a number, then that's water soluble. That PEG and that number makes it water soluble. So, then that'll be easier to cleanse off than the regular dimethicone that didn't have it. So it can get confusing. So I know that's why people are like, should I not, or whatever. And for me, I just opted to stay away from all of them. But that works for me and my hair. So anyway, I hope that answered your question. I hope that give you guys a little bit of background of my natural hair journey and why some decisions. Oh, let me tell you this too. So I no longer use the curly girl method. So I started out really using the curly girl method. No silicones, no sulfates, no hair tools, all that stuff. And then I modified it a little bit where I would use shampoo a little bit more, or every once in a while I would use a detangling item or whatever. But for the most part, I finger detangled, and it was something else in the curly girl method that I quit doing that made it kind of modified. You guys need to just, if you have the book, reread it. If you don't have it, you can check it out. If you're not interested, you don't have to get it either. You can kind of pretty much go by your hair or whatever. But I kind of just modified it. And then as I have grown in my journey, learned my hair more, now I don't use it as much. Do I use some things from it still, like finger detangling? Yes, I prefer to finger detangle, but I will use a brush, a detangling brush as well. I don't use wide tooth combs as much. I'll use those more just to kind of part my hair if I needed a comb or something like that. But I used to only use wide tooth combs and not a detangling brush, and then I switched and started using a detangling brush and not wide tooth comb. So it will evolve. It will evolve. And now I use moisturizing shampoos a little bit more than I use co-washes. Go figure. So, there's no right or wrong to your natural hair journey. You do what you need to do. You do what works best for you. And if you're doing something that someone else is saying and it's not working for you, you change it. You see what works for you. If, using oil, like I don't use oil on top of my hair to take my twist out. Everybody say you need to put oil on your fingers and take your twist out to keep it from frizzing out. No, when I use oil on my hair to take my twist down, I usually get frizz on the ends. It usually for some reason frizzes my hair out for me, so that's why I don't use it. And it weighs my hair down a little bit more. My hair is somewhat thick and is somewhat coarse, but for whatever reason, heavy products weigh it down. So I prefer my hair to be lighter, to feel lighter. So I don't use oils. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't use oils, especially if you cleanse your hair well. And that's what you got to know. You got to cleanse your hair. If you're going to use those butters and those oils and those silicones and all that, you need to cleanse your hair well. Okay? You can't do all that and then use co-washes continually. Okay? But if you feel like your hair looks better, feels better, is growing, is thriving using oils and butters, use oils and butters. For me, I would say try to see how your hair does without all of that first. And then add what you need to add versus starting out with a whole lot. Because that's what I did. I started out, I got to use the lock method. I got to use the LCO method because I'm low porosity instead of the lock method. So I'm doing a leave-in, a oil, a cream, then putting a gel on top. Or leave-in, a cream, a oil, then putting a gel on top. So I was doing a whole lot. And even though my hair looked good and lasted or whatever, it was just a lot. And as my hair got longer and bigger, I just started realizing that I didn't need all that. So I cut out the oils. I cut out the whole lock method thing, and my hair is still doing well. So I can just do a leave-in and a gel now, or some gels by themselves, which I don't do often. I prefer to have a leave-in under my gels. Or I can do a mousse by itself, or in the winter, if I feel like I want to do a leave-in and it's a really light leave-in and I want to add, a cream in there just to give a little extra moisture under a harder holding gel, I'll do that, but I'm not going to add the oil with it. So I'll just do the leave-in, the cream, and then the oil if I want to. Haven't done that if I wanted to. Haven't done that for a while. But those are just things that I'm saying. Listen to your hair. Do what your hair says works, and try different things. And don't try to be or have your hair look like mine, because it won't. Embrace your hair and feel your hair and get to know how your hair feels without a whole lot of oils and butters on it first, and then get used to it and see how it feels. Is it dry? Does it not feel dry? Does it feel hydrated? Guys, y'all need to learn the difference between moisturized hair and hydrated hair too. I think that's going to help you as well. People are so used to feeling like this oil or this coating on their hair from their butters and their oils, and thinking that their hair is moisturized. And sometimes your hair is dry as a bone under all that oil that you feel. But because you feel some oil and it feels slick, you think your hair is moisturized and hydrated, and it's not. So you do need to learn the difference between hydration, how that feels from the inside out. And then you need to know what moisture feels like. That's the outside of your hair. Okay, hydration is from the inside out, moisture outside in, that type of thing. So once you learn the difference between those, I think that'll be a big help for you as well. So it's so funny because I have someone who, I'm going off on a tangent real quick, because we just talking, we girlfriends, right? We friends, y'all my community, y'all my Sun Raes. So every once in a while I have, a family member, whoever, want to come over want me to, do their hair or whatever, twist it up or whatever. And I don't have a problem with that. But my hair feels dry, my hair feels dry. And then when I feel their hair, it doesn't even feel dry. So because people still don't understand or know the texture of their hair. If their hair has a little texture to it or doesn't have that greasy, slicky feeling on the outside, they think their hair feels dry. And it's like, your hair does not feel dry. And then when I shampooed it for her and everything, I could feel the hydration in her hair and everything. And I'm just like, your hair is fine. Your hair is fine. Yeah, guys, learn your hair, how it feels naked, as well as how it feels when it has product in it. And I think that'll help you out. But hopefully that answered your question. The few who asked me about silicones and whether I use them or not, and whether I think they're bad or not. Hopefully this answers your question. Like I said, I wasn't going to get real technical into silicones and all that kind of stuff and put the atoms up on the screen and all that. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's not that deep. Use them, cleanse your hair. Don't use them, cleanse your hair. It really doesn't matter. What matters is what works for you. And so for me, I could do either or. I just prefer not to use them. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.